Hello and welcome to the Mutual Fund Guide. It's all about your funds and your returns. I am Muralidhar Swaminathan, and today we are expecting a large number of queries. We'll try and accommodate as many of them as possible. I am being joined by two experts, Mr. Hemant Rustagi, who was away on a slightly longish holiday, so you would have missed him for some time. He is back to answer all your queries. And introducing Pooja Bhinde. She is a certified financial professional at Btvi Investments. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Hemant, the mid-cap run has scared many people. What's been the kind of feedback you are getting from your clients?
Well, I think this time is, it may sound like a cliche, but I think it's slightly different in the sense that people have been investing with, following goal-based investment approach. They are very clear about their time horizon. So obviously, whenever you see this kind of correction in the market, especially in the mid-cap and small-cap, because they were in the limelight for quite some time and there were fantastic returns which was coming in. So when any investor, even though the time horizon may be 10 years, when he sees the portfolio going down by 6% or 10% or 15%, gets worried. But I think good thing is because they're mentally prepared and they have time horizon, in hand. I think that helps a lot because that allows you to tackle volatility in a much better manner. Right. Because if you have another 10 years to go, yes, you will be concerned about the portfolio, but you're not so worried about what's happening to the portfolio. But yes, there is obviously some amount of worry, but I'm not seeing any kind of panic in the minds of investors.
Okay, don't have to panic if you're a long-term investor. On that note, let's welcome the first caller. Sushil Bhatia is on the line from Delhi. Sushil, good afternoon. What's your query?
Good afternoon, and thank you for calling and taking my call. You see, I invested rupees 10,000 per month from April 2017 to April 2018 in ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund.
Right.
And the total cost investment is 1,20,000 over this period, and this current value is only 1,24,000. So it has hardly given me return of, I would say, less than that of a bank RD.
Right.
And this is a large cap fund, and they are asking me to continue in SIP. And instead, I have stopped that SIP, and now I shifted to ICICI Focus Blue Chip Fund. So, would you suggest me keeping the corpus which has been invested in value discovery to continue, or should I shift to some other thing? That is query number one. Query number two is, should I invest only in large cap, or should I now invest in some mid cap or small caps also?
Right. See, before I toss the question to our experts, what is your long-term horizon? How long do you want to keep invested? What's your age profile?
Yeah, my age is 31 years, and I can keep the profile. Up to 3 to 5 years is the time horizon which I am looking at. Right.
A good, very clear objective, Hemant. What should we do?
Well, I think he's talking about a time horizon from here on 3 to 5 years. He mentioned about ICICI Value Discovery. This has been a great performing fund, but yes, in the last couple of years, it has not really kept pace with the competition. So my view is that if you're indeed looking at some value fund, you'll be better off investing in L&T value fund. My only worry is that if you're talking about from here on your time horizon of 3 to 5 years, you need to really make it slightly longer, because what happens is if you're investing fresh money through SIP, your average holding period is much less than what you think it is. So I think if we can extend that, he should be looking at, and ideally, one should be looking at multi-cap fund, because sometime as an investor, it becomes very difficult for you to decide how much to go into large cap, how much to go into mid cap. My view always is that bread and butter of your portfolio has to be large cap. Right. So maybe 60% should go into large cap, 35 to 40% should go into mid cap and small cap. Look at some good quality multi-cap fund. For example, you can look at Motilal Multi-Cap 35 or Kotak Standard Multi-Cap Fund. Look at one of these funds. I think they should do better. Or if you're looking at specifically value fund, look at L&T value.
Right. It's very important to build a good portfolio, whether you have a horizon of 5 years or 10 years. It's very important to have a good mix, as Hemant has pointed out, because building a portfolio itself takes a lot of time. It's better done by professionals. It's difficult to handle on a day-to-day basis. Markets will be volatile. And the core part, as you said, should be large cap funds.
Well, I think, you need to keep your investment process very simple. Sometimes investors get intimidated by the fact that how do I invest invest and what do I do about it? But the fact is, investment is a simple process. It only requires two things.
Right.
If you're looking to build some corpus, invest for long term.
Right.
And follow a disciplined approach. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're following a disciplined approach, you don't have to worry about volatility, because the biggest challenge for you as an investor is how are you going to tackle volatility?
Exactly.
Especially if you're investing in equity or equity-oriented hybrid fund. If you know how to handle that, if you have a clear time horizon in mind, you don't have to worry about a thing. And as you rightly mentioned, I think look for funds which have performed consistently. Don't equity as an asset class is aggressive.
Yeah.
You don't have to make your portfolio very aggressive from there.
Correct.
So, like I said, go into 60% around large cap, 40% into mid cap. If you can't decide which large cap, which mid cap, go into some good quality multi cap fund. The professional will do the job for you.
Right. The next question is mail from Kiran. He's mailed us this query from Monga. He's 40 years old and has invested through SIP in Mirae Asset India Opportunities Fund, Kotak Select Focus, SBI Magnum Multicap, Canara Robeco Emerging Equities and HDFC Balance Fund. He wants to invest in these funds for the next 10 to 15 years. He wants to know, should he continue investing in these funds or switch? That's a large basket puja of funds which is good.
In fact, Kiran, at this age of 40, I'm sure the long-term goal or the horizon would be because of the retirement thing coming up next to you, or maybe the education or the marriage goals coming up to you. So the time horizon that you have set, like 10 to 15 years. So obviously equity is the right strategy to go ahead with. But since, like as Murli also mentioned, that it has lot many funds. Now since we have one large cap, which is Mirae Asset India Opportunities, you can definitely continue, because in a portfolio we should be looking at diversification. When we talk about diversification, there should be one large cap, one mid cap, one small cap if the time horizon is more than 15 years, and you can have a multi-cap fund. Another multi-cap funds, which is recently changed to multi-cap, I would say Kotak Select Focus was a large cap fund, but recently it has now changed into Kotak Standard Multi-Cap Fund. But since it has changed into multi-cap, it still has a lot of large cap configuration into it. You can still continue to hold on that if the time horizon is less than 10 years to you. SBI multi-cap, definitely you can continue with this fund. Canara Robeco Emerging Equity is a mid-cap fund. Since we miss one mid-cap in this particular basket, it should be there in the portfolio. So I would suggest to go ahead with this. And the last fund which he has mentioned is HDFC Balance Fund. Now Balance Fund, since it is not 100% into equities, it has 65-35 ratio. Since HDFC Balance, you can see per se is an aggressive fund. But still, when we talk about SIP and when we talk about a long-term horizon, we need to put into 100% equity, because at this age of 40 you can definitely have 60% of your net worth or into equities. Yeah. So you can change HDFC balanced into HDFC small cap if you're continuing to hold for next 15 years, and portfolio is well diversified. No need to add more schemes to it, but you can just review it timely, because that is more important. You cannot just sit back and wait for the next 15-20 years to just grow the portfolio like this, but you need to wait and monitor it.
Sit back, wait and let your portfolio grow, create wealth. On that note, let's welcome the next caller. Rita Khandelwal is on the line from Bareilly. Rita ji, namaskar. आपका क्या सवाल है?
हाँ, ऐसा है, नमस्कार, मैं रीता खंडेलवाल फ्रॉम बरेली। 7 लाख हमारा पोस्ट ऑफिस से हमारे पास इस समय आया है, तो मैं ये सोच रही हूँ कि किसमें लगाऊं, म्यूचुअल फंड में या एफडी से थोड़ा फर्क चाहते हैं।
हाँ जी, हेमंत, यू वांट टू टेक दैट क्वेश्चन?
देखिए रीटा जी, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज ये है कि आपको कितने समय के लिए इन्वेस्ट करना है, आप बता सकते हैं?
हमें लॉन्ग टर्म चलेगा, लॉन्ग 10-12 साल चलेगा।
हाँ, तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि लॉन्ग टर्म को भी डिफाइन करना जरूरी है। जैसे आपने कहा 10 से 12 साल के लिए आप इन्वेस्ट करना चाहती हैं, इतने लंबे समय में अगर आप एफडी वगैरह में डालेंगी तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि एक तो रिटर्न वहां पे कम मिलेगा, दूसरा आपको टैक्स देना पड़ेगा, तो आपकी जो पोस्ट टैक्स रिटर्न है वो काफी कम हो जाती है, तो आप इन्फ्लेशन से ज्यादा रिटर्न नहीं कमा पाएंगे। तो म्यूचुअल फंड में आप इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो। अगर आपने पहले इन्वेस्ट नहीं भी किया तो भी आप किसी अच्छे इक्विटी फंड या जो मिक्स है एक इक्विटी हाइब्रिड फंड का, वो आप इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो यहाँ पे। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि अगर आप मान लीजिए थोड़ा सा रिस्क लेना चाहें और अगर आप डिसिप्लिन तरीके से आप 7 या 8 साल उसमें बने रहें इतने साल, तो मुझे लगता है कि आप जैसे बिरला सन लाइफ इक्विटी फंड है उसको देख सकते हो। एचडीएफसी मिड कैप अपॉर्चुनिटी मिड कैप फंड है, लेकिन इसमें लार्ज कैप का प्रपोर्शन भी है। तो इन दोनों फंड्स को अगर आप देख लें, इसमें बने रहें 10 साल जैसा आपने कहा, तो इसमें आपको अच्छी रिटर्न मिलेगी। हाँ, ये समय जब होगा 10 साल के अंदर आपको काफी बार जैसे अभी वॉलेटिलिटी देखने को मिल रही है वैसे देखने को मिलेगी, उससे आपको घबराना नहीं है। जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि आप अपना जितना समय है उस पर ध्यान रखिए, तो वो आपको हेल्प करेगा कि आप इस वॉलेटिलिटी को ठीक तरीके से टैकल कर सकें और अच्छी रिटर्न जो है जो आपको बैंक एफडी से मिलने वाली है उससे कहीं बेहतर रिटर्न आपको यहां से मिल पाएगी।
ओके, इसमें एक और पॉइंट ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। शी हैज गॉट 7 lakhs bulk amount, so the bulk amount should not be invested, है ना? She has to do it.
Only my view is that you are investing for 10 years. If you're very clear about that.
So there is
no harm in investing.
In any case, market to bhi correction.
Because suppose you do systematic transfer plan for the next couple of years.
Right.
What you are doing in the process is you are reducing your time horizon.
Right.
Okay. I agree. The markets have already seen some correction there. So while I agree that systematic helps, but if you have a lump sum,
and
ideally it's a combination of lump sum and systematic that works for you. But if you are intending to invest for long term, 10 years is a pretty good time horizon for investing in it.
Right.
So there is no harm in investing a lump sum.
Okay. Lump sum investment kar sakte, there is no harm. You don't have to go through systematic investment plan. Our next query is from Sanjay Bave. He has mailed us this from Kalyan. He has invested in Reliance Growth Fund, Reliance Vision Fund and Franklin India High Growth Fund. He wants to know whether he should continue investing in these funds for the next 10 years or switch. Second part, he also wants to start an SIP of 2,000 in either ELSS or index funds. He is looking for fund recommendations.
Yes. See, if you see, Sanjay, the schemes that you have selected, if you have recently started the investments in these schemes, then it must be showing underperforming right now, because Reliance Growth, Reliance Vision, if you see in the category of large cap as well as mid cap, these schemes have not performed very well. So if you have been invested since a long time, then you can still remain invested, because I guess it's a SIP, so you can continue with that, and also your time horizon is long term, and again you've mentioned 10 years, so you can continue with that. But my suggestion would be, if you've recently invested and you are seeing underperformance in the schemes, then you should make a change here. You should watch this fund for next 6 months to 1 year, and you can change the Reliance Vision. At least from Reliance Vision you can change large cap category, you can switch it to maybe Aditya Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity, and Franklin High Growth, if you see, it's now changed into Franklin India Focused Equity Fund, which is a multi-cap category fund. Since in your portfolio you already have a large cap as well as a mid cap, we definitely would want a multi-cap to complete the portfolio. But again, Franklin is underperforming from past 3 years, you see. So you need to keep a watch on these schemes, at least for this year, because this year is as it is going to be a little, you can say, not very good for the equity markets. So SIP is again going to give you the good average here, but you can make a change in that in future if you feel the returns are going to be consistently below the below the benchmark, you can say. You can change it to SBI Magnum Multicap, okay. And the next question was ELSS or index. I would say ATC reduction, if you're looking at, it's clearly ELSS fund, okay. But when you start an SIP, since you've mentioned an SIP into ELSS, you need to be very careful, because SIP in ELSS, since it comes with a lock-in of 3 years. So once you invest into SIP, the first SIP or the first installment will be locked for 3 years. The next month installment will be locked for again that particular 3 years. So you need to be very careful when you are investing via SIP route into ELSS funds. But if you are clearly looking at tax reduction under ATC, I would say ELSS is the best bet in that. You can go for Reliance Tax Saver, Aditya Birla Sun Life Tax Relief 96. These two are good funds, and completely you can go ahead with this, but need to monitor it timely.
Okay. So the next caller is waiting for us. Rajesh Ramanan is on the line from Bengaluru. Rajesh, what's your query? Good afternoon. Thanks for calling us.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Rajesh. I am a fan of your program.
Thank you.
I am 44 years and I have been investing in mutual funds through SIP route. I have already accumulated a corpus of about 80 lakhs so far.
Okay.
And I am continuing to invest through SIP route in 5 funds. So my funds are 2 multi-cap funds. One is Birla Sun Life Equity Fund and Franklin India Equity Fund, which is, I think, the old name is Franklin India Prima Plus.
Yeah.
And then I have one large cap fund, which is Mirae Asset India Equity Fund. Then one small cap fund, Franklin India Smaller Companies Fund. And one value fund, which is ICICI Value Discovery Fund.
Right.
So I am totally continuing to invest through SIP route of 2,50,000 every month.
Right.
50,000 each in each of these funds. So my goal is my son's college education, which is at least 6 years away. 2023, I may need some of these funds to contribute to that.
Right.
Plus, I need my retirement, which is about 12 years away,
Right.
at least. So for these two goals, I am continuing to invest. So my query is, am I in the right funds?
Yeah.
And can I continue with this allocation for the next 10 to 12 years?
Very good. Rajesh, first of all, let me compliment you for planning, setting the goal and sticking and making sure there is execution. Let me hand it over to Hemant.
Absolutely. I think he's been following the right strategy. We always talk about having a strategy in place before you start investing. The goals that you talked about, children education and the retirement, both are long-term goals, and usually these kind of goals require you to accumulate a larger corpus. And what typically happens is people do not invest in the right asset class. You have done the right thing by investing in equity. You have selected your funds pretty well. And I think you've continued the process. I'm sure on the way you've seen very volatile periods, but I think you've continued the process. I would like you to continue with this process for whatever remaining period of your time horizon is. As far as your portfolio is concerned, I would say broadly your funds are good. I already mentioned in the show about, I feel that in the value category, you can look at L&T value instead of ICICI Value Discovery Fund. The rest of the funds are fine. Every fund, even the best of the fund, will go through a period where it will not perform. So never be in a hurry to keep changing it. And even for Discovery, I'm recommending a change after looking at that fund for the last 2-3 years. So you've given reasonable time to the fund manager to perform, and if that does not happen, don't hesitate to make a change. So make this change, continue this process, and I'm sure you'll be able to build a large corpus to take care of both your important goals.
All right, Rajesh, hope that answers your question.
Do I need to shift my existing corpus from ICICI Value Discovery to L&T Value, or should I stop the future SIPs, leave it there, and start new SIPs in L&T Value Fund? What's your recommendation?
Look, if the change is being made for the fact that the fund is not keeping pace with its peers, then there is no point keeping even the accumulated corpus there. Then you need to obviously move it to another fund. But while doing it, remember one thing, you've been investing through SIP. You need to make sure, even though all the gains, what you have made in the past, have been grandfathered till 31st of Jan, be very careful about the investment that you made in the last 1 year. There could be a short-term capital gain. There's going to be exit load. Keep those two factors in mind. Keep that amount for some time. The rest of it you can withdraw and then go into L&T Value Fund.
Okay. I think it's time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side, we will answer some more queries. Stay tuned to MF Guide. Welcome back. You're watching the Mutual Fund Guide. It's all about your funds and your returns. Let's quickly go across to the next caller. Subramani is on the line from Chennai. Good afternoon, Subramani. What's your call?
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your calling. Sir, I am having investment of Magnum monthly plan, SBI Magnum monthly plan, rupees 10 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
As of now, I am getting at the rate of 7%, sir. So my requirement is at that time now, my requirement is 10,000 per month for the 10 lakhs.
Okay.
What is the procedure? Whether I have to redeem the amount, then reinvest the same, or I have to keep the investment in the same plan.
Right.
Then one more query is, what will be my fund value at the end of the term, whether it is 3 years or 5 years?
Or 5 years. Pooja, I want to take that question.
Subramani, like you mentioned, you've already invested into one fund, which is SBI monthly income. It's a debt fund. Okay. So, if the lump sum that you've invested, like 10